everyone. Greetings. It's Tuesday, and let's get right into it. The light message of this week. And yeah, so we're still writing in that transformative energy that was so prevalent and important last week. It really is happening everywhere, and I know on a global scale, things are still very much also transitioning and posturing for transformation. Everybody who's been affected by the thing and has had their lives changed forever by the thing is now coming to terms with this new reality post the thing. It's important to remember that your mindset and how you view the world does matter in parallel to what is being thrust at you full force by social media, word of mouth through friends, relatives, political agendas, all this and all that. It's important to remember yourself and to dive deep for those internal, drives that were with you before and how those are being reshaped in this new paradigm. There seems to also be, I'm noticing, a lot of masculine turnover. It's been going on, but now it seems just so in your face. Like there's no more distinction between what I'm supposed to have versus who I am and the appreciation of what I have. A lot of times we set our goals and then we bring our expectations right up to the finished end game. So you feel like, oh no, people who are vibrating below me or not there at my idealized end result, they're never going to be up to my level. And so you create this unrealistic, almost sense of delusion that is creating a gap between you and the collaborators that are around you waiting to help you. It's almost like, oh god, I can't believe I'm going to liken it to this. I don't know if you've ever heard of short man syndrome. This is like, I have all this coming to me and I'm attracting all this and I'm manifesting all this. And then you look at somebody else who's doing probably just as good as you, if not, a little less or a little more. And you look at them like, oh, you're not even up to my level. But what is your level? Where are you at? I'm actually really amazed to see this happening at large. Like, a lot of people are, again, looking at themselves, taking accountability. And if that's you, oh my gosh. Again, this new paradigm it's here. It's happening. So those old like variations of what success looked like is no longer valid. You're no longer balling if you have a fat grip and, you know what I mean, table service and VIP. How do you feel? Like, that's important. How do you feel? And if you can get into your head and start healing the trauma, the drama, and the codependencies to that drama and trauma, because you can only relate to people who've either gone through what you've gone through, or you won't relate to them, or they've not seen as hard as you have, or had it as hard as you have. There's variations, there's relativity to what's hard, to what's difficult. I think one of the best things is you can't judge a goldfish for its ability to climb a tree. So you really have to start looking at your relationships to these other people, these other very real, energetic, independent people, and start viewing them as such. Don't let everybody just be passerbys while you're on this mission for, higher, elevated, whatever, vibration, finance, your relationships, your spirituality, your religion. Bring them with you. Sorry. Bring them with you. And it's not difficult. Again, there's people out there stuck on repeat. And you do need to be aware of those repetitions, patterns. People who are always asking for help, and then they come back around to ask for the same help, dealing with the same issues, the same drama. And then all of a sudden you're just sort of like, okay, well, you're where you're at, and you're stuck on loop. It's okay to, again, give that inclination, but move forward from that. But to those of us who have really put in the work to transcend, again, it's not just about us reaching the next level. Check on your crew and make sure that they are all doing the work too. Because if we can collaborate, there's so much to be yielded from that collaboration. When you have many people striving towards the same goals. And this is the higher thinking that's been even weaponized against the masses to keep people in alignment with create, consume. However, this new paradigm, this age of Aquarius, is really rooting this year. So just know that you're not the only one who's having crazy dreams. You're not the only one with excessive migraines. You're not the only one with, feelings of impending doom. Right after feelings of exacerbated excitement. We are all going through these ebbs and flows of just energetic, transformative overturn. So just ride the wave and know that you can breathe a fresh breath of air knowing where you're headed is somewhere that you have never seen the likes of before as an individual. So grab the hand of the one closest next to you and make sure that they're coming too. That's all I'm going to say on that. Just wanted to prelude with that just to kind of give some kind of more onset to the new paradigm shift. Again, that new moon followed by the eclipse was so powerful. And we're still in Sagittarius energy, but we are coasting into, Capricorn. The sun in Capricorn is on the way. She ain't here yet, but on the way. So just be ready for that, because a lot of that is karmic return. So again, what are you putting out and what are you holding back? Today's daily overview is we are looking at visionary, the person with all of the foresight to see 5 years into the future, 10 years into the future, and understand where their life is going. Again, all this is requiring that huge collaboration. So get your team together and have those sit-downs, have those talks. It's that time. Full of ideas today. So again, this is all today's energy. So if you can, do it today. Just, you know what I mean? Just rap with somebody with ideas back and forth. And also making your mark, which is ending on Thursday. So we've really been pounding the pavement as far as who we are and what our goals are these next couple of months, couple of years. Again, it's all transformative energy. It's posturing for these big changes that are coming, which requires you to act now. Like, don't delay on that. Because what you do now, your future self, is a product of. So if you can connect your actions today to who you're going to become tomorrow, think about everything you've done today. What did you eat today? What kind of media did you consume today? What kind of love did you put out today? Because you're going to do that again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, until you're 3 months in from now, 6 months in from now, a year and a half in from now, today. What does that person look like, and what are they a product of? That's not to call anybody out or to say that you need to do this or you need to do that. Just assess yourself. Have that inner courage to assess yourself. The moon transits this morning at about 4 a.m. We started with some emotional conflict. And that for me was very prevalent. I definitely had those ebbs and flows. And again, I'm not here to say that I'm the elevated one or that I'm more elevated. I go through it, and I'm here just expressing that experience through a very generalized dialogue that can be relatable no matter your calling, your creed, your religion, your code, whatever. So again, this morning in the early morning hours, through the morning, it was very like, well, how do I feel about that? That makes me happy, that makes me angry, that makes me sad. And it could be in flux, but you can definitely use that as an indicator. I was feeling, personally, this is personal, I was feeling pretty lofty, and I was not feeling grounded, so I had to do my exercises, as I do, run my miles, as I do, and, prepare for the stream, as I do. Well, most days. Accountability. That led to some strong imagination, and definitely felt that as well. That was from the morning till about noon. It was very creative, healthy. I know what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to put it on paper. I was actually, last night, was doing some eyeliner stuff with my tattoo machine, and was really happy with the results. Today I was, planning out today. Made a new smoothie. I made this amazing, faux meatball out of spinach, cauliflower, and Beyond Beef. Clutch. And, yeah, so that's definitely true for me. Fleeting depression is also prevalent. So again, it's important to feel this as it comes. It's not a bad thing to feel depression. It's definitely important to allow that to flow through you so that it doesn't latch on to your being and become prevalent in everything you are creating. And the love you are giving out isn't tainted by that depression, and the manifestations that you are creating are not tainted by that depression. So by all means, feel it, fully feel it, and let it ride. It will pass. But when it begins to pass, don't call it back in. Do some kind of ritual, burn some sage, bid it farewell, and thank it for bringing you into the awareness of it. Because there's definitely a space that's needed to fully feel into what we feel and feel it and validate it at the same time. So again, and then through the rest of the evening, this is again coming up as the issue, because are you repressing your emotions? And again, this new paradigm, and I'm really calling out to those really driven into their masculine, patriarchal, cis-het mindset, that emotions are a bad thing. You can't tell your homies how you feel about things. You can't tell, anybody, let alone, your girlfriend, your lover, your wife, whatever, how you feel about something. And now that the paradigm is shifting, there's a lot of strong women out there who are so girl bossing so hard that they've adopted repressed emotions from their male counterparts or the patriarchy at large through representation in media. That if you're bossing hard, then you don't have to show and you don't owe anybody what you feel. But you need to break that down, because that can lead to congestive heart failure, very real threat. That can lead to pancreatic issues, very real threat. Can also lead to dietary gastrointestinal issues, an embarrassing, very real threat. All because you can't let it out. And it doesn't have to be to people close to you. If you do hold a very like reserved space for how you feel, write it out. Burn it. But don't hold on to it. And if you're not a very good writer, then draw it out. Burn it. Don't hold on to it. It's just a little inclination for the rest of the evening to own yourself. Because you're in control. Although the world tells us it's in control. You have to decide every day. Is it what the world is expecting of me, or is it what I have grown to expect of myself? And those are two very different things. You can't have the world hold your hand through your entire life, telling you to be up by 8, be clocked in by 10, and be in bed by 6. Sleep in on your days off. Go out to eat with friends and take pictures of the food. That's not life. Accountability says, I'm going to do something mindful today. I'm going to act on gratitude today. I'm going to put out love today. And I'm going to work towards something I'm passionate about today. Even if I am being held by the world in that 9 to 5, I'm going to make time for myself and my passions. So you have to decide. I have to decide. I've made a world where I have 4 days to decide every week. It's awesome. But that's because I'm not going to play into, if I'm not burning myself out, then I'm not being productive. That doesn't make sense. And if you're living on that burnout paradigm of, I have to constantly be growing something and running my hardest, or nothing's being done, that's called a Cronus syndrome. And Cronus was overthrown by his children. So you better watch out, because you're going to be so focused until somebody overthrows you. Anyways, that's reading a little bit too far into it. So, on that note, I do want to pull a card today as well, just to really put it out there. And it's so perfect. I swear, I'm like, okay. I was going to pull one card, but I was like, you know what? Today we're going to be the change. We're not going to do this one. We're going to do this one. It's just like the last minute drop of a hat. And so this card reminds us so perfectly, you got the love. I mean, look at this woman. Look at those faces of stillness on her. She has herself. From like 6 different levels of her manifested body and dimensions. She has herself. She can draw the boundaries to the paradigms around her and be absolute in her existence and in peace in all of those existences and all of those parallels. Harmony. And it's not easy to live a life of harmony. But you have the choice. And now, just for a moment, go ahead and you draw from this picture. And what do you see? It's important to remember that we owe it to ourselves to have our best interests. Self sacrificing, somebody already did it better. I don't know how else to put that without being aggressive. So I'm gonna back off a minute. I just took my testosterone like 2 days ago. So all right. So Venus is still in Capricorn, so we're still very much grounded in our relationships. So all of these conversations that you need to remind yourself that you're supported by those that you're collaborating with is it's still very fertile ground to have that conversation without much pushback. So take advantage of that. It's coming to an end this Thursday. And we're in the last week of the sun in Sagittarius. So, use the last embers of that nurturing, healing fire to put in as much rest as you can this week. Not work, rest, restoring, preparing for all of this transitional overturn we're going to be basically dumped into. Because if you thought it's changed a lot by today, where we'll be in a few months is going to be vastly, vastly strange and wonderful. I think that's more my Scorpio moon talking there, but strange and wonderful is pretty awesome. Go ahead and, if you haven't yet, go follow the 5XL. You can find all kinds of stuff there. You can download their app, the 5XL, and you can also find them on the 5XL on Roku TV. And also, please go follow me on Saturnal Kiss on stream, on Twitch, and you can also find me on YouTube, where I backlog all of these videos. So anytime you're looking for inspiration, or you're thinking about a past moment in your life, you can always draw inspiration from there as well. All right, and anything else? No. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and be blessed, and stay safe out there. Oh yeah, rest and hydrate. That's very important.